early on in my Christian walk, I was taught this simple truth that God's grace is greater than any sin, and that just brought amazing freedom in walking with God. This means that basically it would mean that you can be in trouble in many ways with a lot of people, but due to the finished work, you can never be in trouble with God. Actually, not really, not in a way that it cannot be restored at all. James 4:6 says, "For he gives more grace, wherefore he says, God resists the proud, but gives grace unto the humble." So when you understand that, you start, the beauty of that is when you understand this idea of grace being greater than any sin, then you start to learn with that understanding to rely on his grace more and more. Psalm 20 verse 7 says, "Some trust in chariots, some in horses, but we will remember the name of our Lord." So not our abilities, not our weaponry, not our manipulation, we don't trust those things, but we remember the name of our Lord. We trust his grace. We say, "No, God, the one who has initiated me so will always initiate to me." So when I will have messed up, and it happens a lot, sadly, and then I'm troubled by that. And then Psalm 94:19 says, "In the multitude of my thoughts within me, your comforts delight my soul." And this is one of his comforts. His grace is greater than any of my sin, any sin that I could commit. So when I understand that, when I accept that, that will be a great comfort to my soul and to yours as well. We become reliant on that grace of God. And with that, we become grace people more and more. What I mean by that is that when we understand and we realize that his grace is the reason, actually, that God has initiated to us and will not change in that. He will keep initiating to us. Then we gradually become more and more relaxed, and we will trust more and more towards his grace. We will say more and more in our hearts, "Yes, his grace is enough for this. Yes, his grace is enough for this. Yes, I start trusting that, and then it's funny because as I rely on his grace, that opens the door for more grace, as he says here in James 4:6. He gives more grace. As I start receiving grace, it sort of makes a capacity for more of it, more grace, and it flows into our hearts and into our minds and into our thinking, and we become grace people that way. And that's really so awesome, because you can fight with sin, or you can live in the victory above it, and that's just a very different life. So God bless your day with that truth.